Welcome to the Power Up Podcast, where faith meets fandom and Jesus levels up your life. Whether you're grinding XP or exploring truth, you're in the right place. Let's power up.
Hey, Erin fan, welcome back to the Power Up Podcast. I'm Patrick.
And I'm Erin. So glad to be with you today as we continue the Skill Tree Building a Faith That Scales series.
Today's episode is called Grinding for the Gear. And if you're a Monster Hunter fan or have ever grinded for loot in any game, you already get the vibe. This one's all about the discipline branch of your spiritual skill tree.
Right, not the glamorous stuff like calling down fire from heaven or spiritual high moments. This is the daily grind, the prayer, fasting, giving, and obedience, the gear crafting of faith.
Let's be honest. When you give your life to Jesus, you don't suddenly get this glowing, maxed out armor set. You're not running around with plus 10 holy resistance and a sword that shoots lightning.
No, you're basically running around in the tutorial outfit. Maybe a wooden shield, maybe cloth armor, if that. Spiritually, you're a baby hunter. You've got the name, but you haven't crafted the gear yet.
Exactly. Salvation is your starting point, like hitting New Game Plus, but with no gear transfers. Grace is free, totally unearned, but growth takes grind.
Yeah, and I think a lot of us confuse grace with spiritual auto-leveling. We think, I gave my life to Jesus, so why am I still struggling? But it's like in Monster Hunter or any grind-heavy game, just because you've entered the world doesn't mean you're ready to fight the boss.
Yep, you've got to get out there and fight. Get the materials, slay some low-level monsters, learn the patterns. And that's what spiritual discipline is. That's your carving and forging phase. You're crafting a faith that can take hits.
That verse from 1 Timothy 4:7-8 nails it. It says, train yourself for godliness. Not hope for godliness or wish it into existence. Training means reps, time, sweat.
It's funny how okay we are with grinding in a game, doing repetitive tasks for rare drops. But when it comes to prayer, or daily Bible reading, or resisting temptation, suddenly it's legalism. No, it's training.
Right. Training doesn't earn your salvation. It prepares you to live in it. Just like a hunter trains to survive stronger battles, we train to thrive in faith. Now let's get into the gear. If discipline is the forge, then what are we crafting?
Jesus gave us the blueprint. In Matthew chapter 6, he talks about three things, and it's always when you, not if, when you pray, when you give, when you fast. Those are the three base stats of your spiritual armor.
Let's break them down. First up, prayer. That's your communication buff. It's how you sync with the divine. It's how you hear mission briefings from the Holy Spirit.
Yes, and Jesus says not to pray like the hypocrites, all loud and performative. He says, go into your room, close the door, and talk to your Father privately. That's stealth mode, not live stream mode.
Next, giving. It's your resource buff. And Jesus isn't just talking about money. It's anything. Time, food, attention, energy. He says to give in secret. No, look at me, I'm so generous vibes.
Right. When we give out of love, not ego, we reflect the generosity of God. And it builds spiritual resistance against greed and pride. That's good gear right there.
And then fasting. Ugh, fasting is the agility buff. That one's hard. But when we deny our flesh, we sharpen our spirit. It's saying, Spirit, you're in control. Not my cravings, not my schedule.
Exactly. Fasting strips away distractions. It's spiritual conditioning. Just like dodging in a boss fight, you got to be sharp, quick, and ready.
So think of it like this. Prayer equals communication gear. Giving equals resource buff. Fasting equals agility buff. Altogether, that's a solid base loadout.
Next, we delve into the grind, because honestly, it's boring sometimes.
Totally. Like when you've prayed for something for weeks and it feels like nothing's happening, or when you're fasting and all you can think about is fries, or when you're reading Leviticus and wondering why you're still doing this.
Yes, but it's in those moments that your spiritual armor is being reinforced. Hebrews 12:11 says that all discipline feels painful in the moment, but later it produces righteousness and peace.
That's the payoff. Peace, strength, endurance. And honestly, those moments you think nothing's happening, they're the exact moments something is happening, just below the surface.
It's the XP grind. You don't see the level up screen until later, but every rep, Every discipline builds your resistance to temptation, your clarity in chaos, and your stamina when the boss fight hits.
And let's not forget Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in doing good, for in due season we will reap, if we do not give up. That verse is like a boost item. Every time I want to quit, I go back to that.
You don't grind because it's fun. You grind because it's preparation. And when you're equipped, you walk into spiritual battles knowing you're not just surviving, you're ready to overcome.
Okay, real talk. Some of us listening right now are tired, burned out. You've been grinding and you're not seeing progress. You feel spiritually stuck.
Our pastor has been there. He even had a week recently where he ended up in the hospital from exhaustion. He felt like his armor had cracked and the enemy found a weak spot. It reminds him and should remind everyone that none of us are above needing rest, renewal, or spiritual repair.
That's real. Even pastors need to reforge their gear sometimes. It's not weakness, it's maintenance.
Exactly. You don't quit the game because your weapon breaks. You go back to the smithy, you repair. And spiritually, that means you return to discipline.
Because this is life. It's not a sprint, it's a campaign. And the enemy would love for you to stop midway because it feels like you're not getting anywhere.
But Galatians says, keep going. The harvest comes to those who don't give up. That's not just a feel-good verse, that's strategy, that's long-game faith.
So whatever you're facing, doubt, burnout, distraction, don't quit the quest. Rest if you need, regroup, but keep walking, keep grinding.
Because faith that scales doesn't come overnight. It's forged through discipline, one step, one prayer, one act of obedience at a time.
That's it for today's episode, Grinding for the Gear. Keep training, keep grinding. The faith that scales is built 100 at a time.
And remember, you're not just saved, you're being built for something greater. So don't quit your quest.
Thanks for listening to the Power Up Podcast. If today hit harder than a crit, share it, rate it, and plug in next time. Until then, walk bold, love big, and stay powered up.